Terry Foster, Coach Foster, as he's affectionately known, joins us now. Tell us, you've been with the district 25 years.
Yeah, that's 25 years. This is my first job that I got in 1999, and I've been here ever since. You know, it's grown on me, and I consider this is my hometown now. It's just because I've spent more time here than I have anywhere else in my whole life. Even
Why
though in Oklahoma.
BISD?
Because my parents moved down to Texas and from Oklahoma, and I moved down here with them, and I went to Stephen F. Austin State University, and they lived in Ganado, and I threw my name out there for a couple wrestling jobs, and Beeville had an opening, and it was so far down south. I was, wanting something closer to Dallas, where, I was 24, 25 at the time, and I said, I'll spend 1 year down here, and 1 year turned into 25. So
25.
Yes, but it's been the best decision. God put me on that path and put me in the place I needed to be, and this is it.
What's your most memorable moment of being a Trojan?
My most memorable moment, there's a ton of them. It's about relationships I've learned. I just lost my father 3 years ago, my sister 2 years ago, and my mother about a half a year ago. And that's really instilled in me about relationships. It's what people feel about that day. And stop and smell the roses. And really it is. I'm 51 now, and it reiterates things that, hey, what's important? And it's about the moment. What can you do today, the time you can spend with people. I've got a 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old son, TJ, and he's really put a perspective on to me of going, stop and smell the roses. My other children are older. Ryan's graduating this year, and Jace is a freshman, but I really want to stop and smell the roses. And those moments, there's just so many moments I have that are with these kids I cherish.
And you mentioned your 2 boys, but you have about 1,000 standing behind you.
Yeah. I've got 4 boys myself, biologically, okay. But I've got, I'd say, probably close to 2,000 wrestlers, students that I've had that have been a part of wrestling and been in my biology class. I've taught biology for 25 years. And I'm now starting to teach 2nd-generation students. So I had a student, Michael Salceda, he graduated about 3 years ago, and I had his mother, Jessica Salceda, in my class about 2003, 2004, and she was pregnant with him in my class. So, it's just, we're going 2nd generation. I think I'm gonna stop at the 2nd generation, not go 3, but.
You can, because we talked about it in this room. So tell me about a funny moment that you've had with one of your students or your colleague.
Well, a funny moment I had when I got the job here in '99. Coach Coleman called me down, said, hey, we have a wrestling job. Then I went to go see Mr. Rodriguez. A lot of people in the district still remember Mr. Rodriguez. God bless his soul. And they sent me over to go visit with Mr. Rodriguez, the head of HR. So I go over there, and I walked into his office. I just finished graduate school, so I sort of thought I knew everything, which I didn't. But I walked in there, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't even know we had a wrestling job open, but come in here." And I talked to him, and he's like, "We do a lot of cooperative learning in here." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cooperative learning. Yeah, I've learned about that, those theories and things like that in graduate school." And da-da-da. And he's like, "Well, why don't you tell me how you would implement that into your class?" And at that very moment, I was like, what are the odds of the God coming back right now and stopping me? Because he caught me in my tracks. I'd heard about it, but I didn't really understand it. So I said, well, could you please give me an example of that? And then so he proceeded to explain it to me. And the way Mr. R was, he would just look back and just let you fall into that trap, and it was just a very welcoming trap. But anyway, I went through and I thought, oh yeah. And so after that, I got hired on, and the years after, we developed a great relationship, me and Mr. Rodriguez, and we would always laugh about that, going, Coach Foster, I could see you. I knew you were a great guy, just you had a little rose-colored glasses there, and would say, and I was like, I know, but I turned out, I've been there for, at that time it was 15 years. But it's just a great relationship. That was the family. That's the family that I've always loved about Beeville. That's why I've been here for so long. went through some difficult points about 10, 12 years ago. I'm no better or worse than any other man out there, but I wanted to stay here because of my boys. I wanted to wait till they graduated before I left to go anywhere else. And I have never wanted to go anywhere else, but you know, I've got my children here.
What's a tough moment that you've been through here at the district?
One of the toughest moments, I would say, the passing of a wrestler, student of mine, Seth Aguirre. A lot of people know him. I had 3 of his brothers as my wrestlers too, and he had passed away on a Wednesday. That was the night that I always had my children once a week, and they were staying over that night. And I remember Dee Dee Bernard called me and said, "Hey, the family needs you," and I went there, and that was my calling, and I was scared, and I was unexpected. It was unexpected, but it's somewhere where I needed to be. Those boys needed me, and I needed them, and we got through that difficult point in our lives, and our student body got through that difficult point, and we still recognize Seth once in a while. He has a mural that's down by the cafeteria now. It's up on the ceiling, and once in a blue moon, I'll take a picture of it and send it to his mom and dad, and he's still here with us. So that's very close to our heart. We gave him a wrestling singlet that he was buried with, and just still here with us.
You mentioned that they needed you, so you were there. And one of the things, a lot of these students need you. And they need you in their life. You've left a legacy with them. So what are some of the things that they have told you that just touched you?
Just that they love me. I don't use the word love very easily. We've built relationships with these people. They've become friends of mine. Matthew Silvas, one of my first All-State wrestler here, like he asked me to be his godfather to his son, baby Matthew, and that's we're bonded to life,
right?
And those are the relationships that, you know, after high school and these young adolescents go on and become adults, you know, and even some of them come back and be teachers. They're teachers here, and they're co-workers of mine, and it's just a lifelong family, great nucleus that we have here in Beeville. I don't ever want to take that for granted, and I never will. It's just I love being here. It's family. I've got my family at home, but I've got my family here. And you know, you have disagreements and you have things that you don't enjoy, but you know, that's like in every family. You know, I can talk about my sister, but no one else better talk about her. You know, so it's one of those type of things that and the kids, they're our kids, they're my kids. You know.
What advice would you give a new Beeville ISD employee?
The advice I would get is this: the sun's going to set today no matter what you do, and it's going to rise tomorrow. And there's very, very few things that are due today. So just take the time of doing the most important things, listen to people, and be yourself. Kids will see right through if you didn't prepare for a lesson. Or if you don't know the answer to something, just be honest. They just want you to be honest. Just be genuine with them, and that's what I try to do.
Listen, take time for yourself. I love that.
Yes.
One other thing, we cannot, Coach, have you sit here and not talk about the state championship. We have to do it, you know, tell me about it.
Well, that was a great moment in our lives. I didn't win state. Our wrestling program won state. That was Rogelio Salazar in that was in 2013. We went down to Austin, and a guy that had beat us 2 weeks before, we ended up beating him in the state finals, beat him to 4-zip. And the great thing about that is that, you know, Rogelio won that state championship, but it wasn't just his state championship, it was our Beeville state championship. I told the kids at our awards banquet for all the sports that year, I said, hey, this guy eats and sleeps and drinks the same place as you guys eat at H-E-B and Walmart, and that all you guys can be state champions. And it was awesome that every one of the past wrestlers that had been in our program, they had donated. A lot of them just wanted to buy a ring for them, but they donated $20, $30. We had probably about, I think close to 50 people that had donated money, and we bought him a $900 ring, and it was presented to him, and it was from his brothers and sisters of past teams and future teams that said, you know what, it's not just you that won a state championship, it's all because all the kids had the same dream. It's just that he was lucky, fortunate, and blessed to be able to get that. And so, and that came at a great time in my life too. I needed that because, you know, I spend so much time, and I don't like to say I, but us coaches spend so much time with other people's kids than our own. And it just said, you know what, this is, it's worth it. It's nice to see some rewards. And we're bonded to life and to all of us, so.
Well, definitely, Beeville ISD appreciates you. You shape the lives of many, and not only just our students and our staff, but the parents in this community. You're a true Trojan, and we thank you, Coach Foster.
Thank you, Beeville.